What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with a live stream today, discussing the new Charlie Cresswell contract. Max Wöber finally leaves, and we link with an interesting defender, and it is interesting for all aspects. But listen, before I get into that, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, drop your comments below. Shout out to Mr. P and John Abbott for super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. Love the support. And yeah, let's get into it, man. Gavin, good evening. Yeah, good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Nige D saying good news, but this shouldn't affect any further signings, in my opinion. And Dan also said great news. I just hope this is not a very Leeds thing to do. New contracts being celebrated over actual signings. And to both of you, I love your mentality. It's good. But this is also good news. And both of you are absolutely correct. It shouldn't affect any new signings coming in, but this secures one of our best assets. You know, Charlie Cresswell, for me, he could have been on the move. And you know what else is good about this as well? There was not one whisper about Charlie Cresswell signing a new contract. Yet again, it's the 49ers doing things behind the scenes, behind closed doors. And as you've seen, if it's in-house, they are pretty much under control. Whereas if we're linked to a player at another club that is, you know, more UK based, it probably will get out with the local journals. But these guys are just moving like this. There was no word of a new Charlie Cresswell deal. Love it. Let's have a look. Yeah, Lewis just saying congrats on the 10,000 subs. Yeah, listen, I know a lot of you have been saying that, and someone even said, I can't even remember who it was. Someone messaged me saying, how come you haven't messaged out? I'll be real with you. I'm not satisfied. I'll be real. I'm not satisfied. I feel at this stage of my YouTube career, would you say, I should be higher? But that's on me too. So I will work harder. And that's why I'm going to expand on here. Because obviously, just talking Leeds United, I can't get all the Leeds United fans for various reasons. So yeah, listen, I feel I should be higher. And that's the reason why I'm just moving on to the next milestone. And that's all that is. Old Git here saying, how are we on a striker, KG? Listen, you know what? Old Git and everyone else, I don't know. I have no idea. Listen, we heard Joel Perot was possibly staying at Swansea for the year, but by all accounts, it just sounds like Swansea is saying, if you don't make a decent offer, then don't bother coming to approach us. I think that's pretty much what they're saying. But as $1 Million Man once said, everybody's got a price. And I think that if we put the money down, I think he would come here. I genuinely believe he would come here. Because the thing is with championship strikers, when they do well, as we've seen in the past, Premier League teams always and ah. You know, they always can he do it? We're not going to take that risk. Let's go La Liga and get Oscar Garcia instead, who scored 10 goals for Celta Vigo or something like that. They always stutter, and that is why there is a chance that he could stay in the championship and go up with us. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, 49ers silent assassins. Great to see. Yeah, 100%. As I say, I've said many times, as a content creator, it's hell because you're not getting any whispers, you're not getting any news. But as a fan, I'm all for this. I'm absolutely 100% all for this approach. Brian here saying Cresswell and Strout future partnership. We'll see, man. We'll see. And listen, you know what? It was good to hear Daniel Farke. I mean, I'm just going to say here, I was going to say for later, but just talking about Poveda and his rise in preseason, but just tempering expectations, which I think is just the smartest thing to do. There's been so many of you getting carried away. And even Daniel Farke had to say, calma, because he's got to continue doing it. It's all well and good doing it against Hearts in these preseasons, but what about the 10th game of the championship season? Is he still going to be on fire then? And that's what he's talking about. So you know what, Daniel Farke, brilliant with that. Temper expectations, but hope that Poveda carries on in this vein. That's all you can do. But some people are ready to anoint Poveda as the number 10. I'm not there yet, though. I'm not there. Sarah saying, caught a live one. Keep up the good work, KG. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to everyone else. Julie saying, KG, I've read Swansea bought another striker. Don't know who, so watch this space. Yeah, they have acquired one, but with Joel Perot, you're talking about a very valuable asset to Swansea. Much like when we went in for Dan James and tried to get him on loan with view to a permanent move, they're looking for the best possible deal. And I think they would have seen Gyökeres go to Sporting Lisbon for like 25 million. They're probably thinking that they can get something around that with add-ons and everything else. So I think it's just a case of whichever club comes in, put the correct money down and don't waste their time. And I don't disagree with that. We can't just go to Swansea because we've got our hands tied possibly and say, oh, we'll give you 10 and maybe give you 10 in the future. It just doesn't work like that. They've got a valuation what he's worth to them, and we're going to have to at least try and go halfway to matching it. Yeah, Deshaun. Some people try. They're trying to anoint him as the number 10 man. I'm not trying to hear that just yet. I want to see a real number 10 come in with Daniel Farke. We know he likes number 10. I want to see a real one come in. I mentioned Archie Gray playing as like a hybrid 8-10, but I would love him to go out and get a real number 10. I mean, I've seen the Buendia shouts, man. I mean, it's mad. It's all mad. Ed, we're gonna get onto that in just a moment, but let me go with this first. Charlie Cresswell, look at that. 2027. Charlie Cresswell will be here. Love to see it. Because as much as it's important about us getting new players, which is vital, let me make that clear, it's good that we're tying down our better players, and I mean better players. So this is brilliant. Now, Charlie Cresswell is going to be what is he going to be, our number 5? And yeah, he just wants to make people proud, and I'm sure he will. He's got the right mentality, man. We've heard with Charlie before. He mentioned before he signed his contract actually a couple of weeks ago about he had a tough time at Millwall in terms of it was a good learning experience. And listen, if you're going to have a good learning experience anywhere, it's going to be that place because it's tough. It's small, but there's high expectations down there for whatever reason. But he said that it's just going to be even bigger here, and he's ready for it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing him blossom here. I won't read all of it. The comments will be on the website, of course. But he's just saying, I'm buzzing. Really, I can't put into words how proud I am of where I've come from to where I am at now. That's something else as well. When you've worked hard for it, you appreciate it more. It wouldn't have happened without the help of all the people along the way, like the coaches all the way through the academy and all of the staff who have worked for me. This is just a start, and it's given me a good platform to go and showcase my talent this season and really push on. Yeah, that's it. And he's only 20. This guy looks older than 20, man. He looks seasoned, doesn't he? A little bit, Charlie Cresswell. And he's just talking about he's got a big part to play this season. He wants to achieve big things in front of the fans and make people around him proud. Yeah, I love my loan at Millwall last season. The experience of the championship was relentless, and I'm ready to go at this season with Leeds. Love to hear it, saying all the right things, and I'm sure he will build upon it. I've got no doubt about his mentality. Really, really and truly got no doubt about it. He doesn't worry me. I think that even if he has a wobble, and let's make it clear, he will have wobbles. He's not going to go error free this season. I think he's got the mentality just to pick it up and go again. That's where I am with Charlie. Mad Mickey is saying Cresswell is a good lad, both in terms of his playing mindset. He will be great for the club, 100%. And we see there, we see it as well. He's holding the number 5 shirt as we saw in pre-season, but they made it official. So if you want Charlie Cresswell on your new shirt, everyone, number 5, go and get it done. Go and get it done. Gary Theakston saying, "Let's get drama nailed down. 2 happy days." Yeah. We'll talk about that. But that's the next one, isn't it? That's the one that we want to hear next. Well, for me anyway, not everyone else. Deshaun saying indirect shots to Pascal. No, actually, well, we've seen. Well, if you haven't seen it yet, the Leeds United media team, Mr. we know who he is, ready for the fight. Very naughty in terms of some recent comments from our latest departure from the football club in Max Wöber. Finally, that is gone. He has gone to Gladbach, and bye. Simple as that. Goodbye. There's nothing else to say in terms of Max Wöber. See you later. You was here for 6 months. I'm just gonna go on to his goodbye message. I don't really want to highlight it too much, but I'm telling you with a heavy heart. Obviously, this is with him and his PR team. I'm telling you with a heavy heart that I'm leaving Leeds United on loan. I'm forever grateful for the support you gave me from the minute I set foot on Elland Road. It really means a lot to me. I totally understand the disappointment with some of you. Now, okay, yeah, this bit for me, but for me, it is a necessary step to show myself at the highest level and to be able to secure a spot in the national team of Austria for the Euros 2024. Now, let me just call cap all over that. Okay, I'm sorry, you play for Austria, yeah. Austria don't have it like that. You don't have it like that. If you had some good players in the championship, maybe even League One, they could possibly play for Austria. You're not getting me with that. You know what I mean? That's just it's just rubbish. And that's what I'm thinking, Deshaun. Some things are just better left not said. No, I'm talking about the bit as well. I totally understand the disappointment with some of you. I mean, you was here for 6 months and you was good for a month or two, but just like the rest of them, you wilted. You wilted with the rest of them. And he's talking about with his Gladbach signing. I'm not going to get those comments, but he's talking about being a leader. He sees himself as a fighter. You wilted with the rest of them. Real leaders rise above and pull everybody up with them, not sink down with the rest of the troops. So again, it's just more empty words, much like Robin Koch, who have all of themselves give themselves invisible attributes that they didn't showcase at the club. Goodbye, Max. Please don't come back. Don't come back. I don't want to see him back. Um, Yeah, I mean, listen, the Austrian, he's making out like he plays for Spain or Italy. You know what I mean? If Nonto comes out and says when he leaves, or if he's to leave, I want to give myself the best chance of staying with the Italian national team, then you have to go. I understand that this is Austria, people. No, no, forget it, forget it. But listen, Max Wöber is gone. That chapter is closed. See you later, and that is it. In terms of him, goodbye, Max. Seriously. But yeah, listen, Charlie Taylor is here to stay. He's going to be a staple in the defense. Will he start alongside Cooper, Wöber, maybe somebody else? We'll see. But I think what is it? This Sunday? I can't believe the season's coming. I can't believe the season's coming this quick, man. But yes, this Sunday, we'll see if he's going to start probably next to Pascal, looking at preseason form. No, we'll see. We'll see. Demar, just in regards to Wöber, couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. They give it all the talk, don't they? They give it every single. It's just so see-through to me. It's just so obvious. And goodbye. Honestly, see you later. Um, yeah, there's some countries, and this is the point I'm trying to make. Mitrovic played for Serbia countless times while Fulham win the championship. There's some countries where you can play. Wales took someone from League Two or League One to the World Cup one year or to the Euros. Come on, man. You know, there's levels at international level. But let's have a look. What's going on with Charlie Taylor? Well, why is everyone putting Charlie Taylor? Huh? I don't get it. I don't get it. Lewis is saying at least Gagey warned us not to fall for the empty words. I will tell you once and I'll tell you again. And I'll tell you 100 times. Don't get yourself attached to football players. Just don't do it. You save yourself a lot of heartache and you'll save yourself a lot of bother and you'll sleep at night. Trust me. Yeah. Trust me. You'll be okay. You know, as long as you remember your favorite is the badge, is that badge that you see in the background where Charlie Taylor is. That's what you support. Everyone else in there is a temporary asset. Okay. Did I say Charlie Taylor? Oh, did I? Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. I said Charlie Taylor. Well, obviously, I meant Charlie Cresswell. That's all. That's all. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. But yeah. Okay. Buey here. This is the next story here. Buey here saying independent report that Brandon Williams might become engaged. Big no from me. Did I say it again? All right. If I've said Charlie Taylor at any point in this stream, I meant Charlie Cresswell. Okay, please forgive me. I'm suffering from bad hay fever too. You know what I mean? Can I get away with that? But anyway, but yes, next one. Let's move on from the Charlies and let's go to Brandon Williams. Now, this is interesting. Miguel Delaney, he is a decent source in all fairness. So, and you wonder if it's because of the link with Brandon Williams playing for Daniel Farke before. So someone saying big no. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening just from what happened in June, where Rio Ferdinand and Brandon Williams had a little spat. You know, he was on well, here it is. Leeds, anyway, it's only Leeds considering Brandon Williams, but this was it back in June. And and this is real, people, because I saw these things on Instagram at the time. But this was Brandon Williams after Man City had won the Champions League, and this is to Rio Ferdinand, one of our players, if you remember. Bet you didn't congratulate if you was the player, keep the same morals, sleepy face, he meant two face as in TWO. Two face are boring. I think he means two face people are boring. But let me just say, at this time, I know that the grammar is a mazza here, but he was drinking at the time. He was on a night out. And I thought in the morning he'd apologize. Now he doubled down on it. He said, "No, I'm not apologizing. Keep watching." he said he said keep watching. And Bob's here saying we need an actual left back who's left footed, and Matt Davis as well, right footed left back. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, so this is only back in June, people, and it just makes me think if he's saying that about Man City, he even though he wouldn't have been around for the main bulk of the Leeds Man United, rivalry, he will still know about it. He will still know there's songs and everything else like that. And he would have seen it as well when we played each other briefly in our second stint. So I don't know if he would even make the move. Honestly, I don't even think it might be an option. I don't. Is he going to drop down to the Championship first of all, permanently for Leeds United to go from Man United, where he is obviously a big Manchester United fan? I just don't see it happening, people. I just don't get it. Sam can't understand a word. Yeah, he was drunk. He was definitely drunk because he had a picture of himself out on holiday with a beer, and he doubled down on it in the morning. Hey, listen, I respect that if you don't apologize. I mean, there's people that would just apologize for the sake of it. He said, "Nah, no, don't celebrate Man City's treble like this, Rio." But the only thing I would say in regards to Brandon Williams, if he was to come, and yes, it's not ideal for me. I want a left-footed left back at the club. Maybe Charlie Taylor. Hey, I'm joking. But the only thing I would say is that he is somebody who I think that the Leeds United fans would actually love, because he's one of those players that if he's not on your team, you absolutely despise him. But if he's on your team, you love him. A bit like Alioski, a bit like Berardi in that sense of just that, not the greatest technical players, but they give a lot of the blood and guts at that position. And the only thing I would say it would work in that way is that if he was to play left back, he would probably sit, and it would allow our right back, whoever that may be, hopefully Drame, to maraud and go forward. And that's the only way I can see it working. I'm not a big fan of right-footed left backs in all honesty, but it can work in certain cases when you've got one fullback that's the attacking one and one that stays. But yeah, Deshaun, that's what he is. He's not overly intelligent. He's brave in terms of his football sense. There's not a tackle that he will shy away from. But yeah, Buey, passion merchant, he borders on that most definitely. And Buey, that's why I'm saying as well, with his Manchester United real allegiances that he's got there, I just don't see him signing for Leeds at this point. But football's a crazy game, and maybe Daniel Farke, who's worked with him before, would talk to him and say, "I know what you're thinking, but this is a great chance for you to get first team football." Because let's face it, if he was to come in and he's Daniel Farke's choice, he's definitely going to play. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Keep an eye on it and see what's happening. I mean, I've also seen loose links as well with Tyler Adams and Chelsea, but that same reporter put in about 7 names. So I think that reporter was just playing midfield bingo. So I'm not going to get that one up here until it's confirmed by more credible sources. Nigel saying too much over the Pennines tax to try and get Man United. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go anywhere near 25 million like we did for Dan James. I'm not sure how long he's got left on his contract, but yeah, I don't see it being very expensive. I think they've been trying to get rid of Brandon Williams for a couple of years now. I don't think he's really wanted there. But yeah. And Harry Hall just going back to Cresswell, not Taylor. Can see Cresswell as future captain in the future. Yeah, he's got that about him, and he's got that look. And that was another interesting thing, just from looking at pictures from when he first signed the last time he signed a contract to now. He's put on so much size and looks just so much more mature. And he's only 20, guys. I don't know how he's going to look when he's 25, man. He's going to look well weathered, isn't it? But yeah, good for Charlie to stay at the club. Darren here saying, I don't see us making any expensive signings, maybe for only our striker. I don't know. Darren, we'll just see. We'll just see what the 49ers have got up their sleeve. It would have been nice to get a new striker before. And listen, shout out to everyone that left feedback on the Patrick Bamford one. Listen, I don't actually enjoy doing videos like that. Even though everything I said I believe and is true, it's definitely true for me. I don't actually enjoy having to say what I said about Bamford in terms of him being just unreliable, not good enough, and everything else like that without anything else. I don't enjoy doing those videos, but for me, it's about looking after the football club first, which is always my first protocol. And if these guys rely on Bamford again, they're just repeating the same mistakes as previous managers and management too. So, yeah, it wasn't enjoyable for me to do. Trust me, I don't actually enjoy doing those kind of vids, but it had to be said, people. But yeah, we definitely need a new striker. That's a must. Already said we create loads of chances. We've been doing that in preseason, but the finishing hasn't been good enough. Not enough composure, not enough potency up front. We have to get a new forward. Um, but yeah, so yeah, let me just see this. Parrot House super sticker. Thank you so much, Parrot House. Big support of the channel. Yo28 with a super thanks. Thank you, Yo. Here's to the new season. Keep the content coming, KG. Love your balanced views. Thank you very much, Yo. Much appreciated. Uh Jim is saying, hi KG, have concerns that Gelhart is not up to it for Leeds United. Yep, hasn't overly impressed, has he? In all fairness, and there is that, isn't there? He was this is something else, and this is where you have to move on. He was so pivotal in us staying up in the limited time that he played, but he has to now build on that. He has to build on that period, and he hasn't done it yet, either at the loan that he had at Sunderland. And yeah, it's not looking too rosy for him at the minute now, but obviously the season will kick him. We don't know where he's going to play. He sees himself as a 10. That's an easy way to get in right now because we don't have an actual number 10. So maybe he will start the season. Who knows? But yeah, he needs to show a lot more so far. But like I say, with preseason, I don't look at it as if someone has like Poveda. I've said the same about Poveda. Just because he's overly impressed, that doesn't impress me yet until you do it in the real thing for a prolonged period of time. I think people have to remember the standards have got to be higher here. We've literally had 2 years of being bent over by nearly every team in the Premier League. We have to reset. We have to get the mentality right. And we have to raise the standards here. And after 2 preseason games, I'm not willing to write anybody off, but I'm not willing also to make anoint Poveda as the answer. But just things with long-term standing before anyone comes. Bamford, this is the long-term thing. Hamstring, oh, we got to take care of him. It's precautionary, bored of it. Enough. Enough. Get somebody in who can do anyone can do what Bamford does and better. I'm sorry. He's not the blueprint for centre forwards. Gale here. I mean, who wouldn't? Gale Hart look better with Rafinha. Rafinha could look anyone look good. Well, apart from Tyler Roberts, but yeah. Listen, Rafinha, he's one of those players that lifts everybody up, and that goes back to Wöber. I mean, Gale giving a perfect example here. We're on our knees. We almost look like we're down. Rafinha he's dragging us to the finishing line, dragging us no matter what. He was so disappointed at that Brighton game that we didn't win. He put it on his back and said, we're staying up. Wöber didn't do that. That's the difference. You don't need to have an armband. Rafinha was just a natural leader on the pitch. Everything went through Rafinha. When he performed, we performed. Simple as that. Listen, Rafinha doesn't need to talk. We saw it in his actions, and that's where I am. Robbie here saying Marsh set us back years. Farke is organized and possession based. Farke is our best signing, no doubt. We'll see. We'll see, Robbie, because even though for me, I feel like he could be the answer. If he hasn't got the right tools, we could go into games now and create 10 chances. And what if we don't score because we don't have that striker up front? Then he's not getting the wins that's needed. You know what I mean? This is why 49ers, I'm sure that they've got it in hand. I'm sure that they're working hard behind the scenes, but we need to see that forward soon. Maybe two for me. Maybe two. Buey is saying best Leeds player of a generation is Rafa. Easily for me, Buey. It's no contest for me. I don't count, as harsh as it sounds. I don't count championship football when it comes to saying who's our best player, because if you've done it at the top level, those people below you can't talk to you. Rafinha literally did it week in, week out against the current best in the Premier League. There's no competition than someone doing it against Charlton or Swansea, unfortunately. And yeah, he's easily the best player that we've had at the club. For me, natural ability since Harry Kewell, not even close. These two for me are side by side, but I think Kewell just nudges it because he did it for a longer period and he was doing it in European football, both UEFA Cup and Champions League. They didn't want to see this guy play. They didn't want to see him, and Rafinha was going the same way. But once Barca came calling, we were done, weren't we? We were literally done. Andy here saying, I know there's time left and they move in silence, but I was expecting more transfer activity by now. Try not to worry. I hear that, Andy. I hear that. Listen, we're on the 1st of August now, and we've had 2 signings in. Definitely not what I thought we was going to be at this point of the season. I thought the departures would be the way they were. Obviously, not all loans. I thought we'd get a few more sales, but then we find out those clauses in the contract. But yeah, mad. It's all mad. It's all mad in terms of just having 2 players, and one being a defensive midfielder kind of thing, and one a goalkeeper. We definitely need more people. Definitely need more. But yeah, the window's not closed for a while. So even if we get off to a slow start, it's not the end of the world. But like I said before, I just worry about these players' mentality. If they start off slow, they're used to losing. Can they get it back? Can some of them get it back? Robbie saying nothing close to Rafinha. Who's nothing close to Rafinha? Kewell. Oh, no, Robbie. You know what? People can have their personal opinions about Harry Kewell all you want. You can, but if you're letting the hate cloud his natural ability and how he used to change games for Leeds out of nothing, you're lying to yourselves, I'm afraid. At Leeds United, this was a guy that was worth 25 million in an era where no one was being sold for 25 million. But Italian teams were coming in for him because he was that good. But time, hate, and haze has probably clouded that, and that's fair. That's okay. That's your personal opinions. But natural ability, you can name anyone that's played for us since Harry Kewell's been here. Rafinha is the only one that's touching him. The only one. Literally the only one. Argue all you want. He's done it at the top level. Sorry. Okay, Robbie. Yeah, no, okay, Gemma. In recent years, Q was amazing. Sorry, misunderstand. Okay, yeah, just making that clear. Johnny here probably speaks for more of you than not, but Q is a Judas, probably the best player of my lifetime. And I know a lot of people probably go towards what Johnny's saying, but it's correct. I'm sorry. Hate can only mask so much, but this guy literally used to turn the game at the drop of a dime. Drop of a dime. He was unbelievable. Technically gifted, natural ability was unreal. Amazing player for us. And listen, he's the reason why I can play football with my left foot. So you know what? I can't hate on that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Q will score goals from some crazy angles. Yeah, Tintin saying Q was something else on the pitch. You know what it is, though, people? What I find funny is that when the Leeds United social media team put out goals from, say, like Bowyer and people like that, they've actually like Chris Benoit Kuhl's name out of it now. So he's just like been so erased now, like Benoit was in the WWE. I'm not sure if it's the same now, but they even when Kuhl set up the goal, you will never hear his name. Crazy. It's all bad. How comes everyone I like is bad people? Maybe that's saying something. But yeah, but yeah, listen. There'll be older fans as well. Eddie Gray was the best winger Leeds ever had, and that's cool. But I wasn't around with Eddie Gray. All right, so I'll take your opinion on board, of course. But yeah, so that is it, people. That is it. And in terms of the news so far, there's nothing else to report. I don't think. Let me just quickly check before we exit. You never know with Leeds. They could have announced something just on the drop of a dime. No, nothing here. No links. Anything with Fabrizio or any other journalist? No, nothing else. One other thing to say in terms of our other rivals that came down, Salisu from Southampton is going to Monaco. So, it's not just us losing players. Southampton have now lost one of their better centre backs. So there's going to be movement like this between us, Leicester, and Southampton until that window shuts. And until the window shuts, I'm going to be real. I'm not going to give my grade. until the window closes because we don't know what's going to happen from till now and then. Ryan here, just on the Kuhl stuff. He if he hadn't gone over to them, Kuhl would have been a Leeds guard. I think I remember Ryan that probably put the nail in the coffin, but I think he was already in the coffin when he moved to Liverpool and the whole money thing. But I've always said before, if you're owed money in your contract, it doesn't matter if the company, as we were Leeds United, were on our knees. That was our fault. It wasn't that he wasn't owed money. It was in his contract. So it would be like if you worked at a job for 25 years and they've overspent trying to be better than the factory across the road. If they come to you after 25 years and say, you know, that bonus that you drew, can we just hold off on it because we overspent and we've over speculated to accumulate and it hasn't worked out? You're going to go, wait a minute, excuse me. What you say? But yes, you're right, Ryan. If the move completely put the nails in the coffin, 100%. And listen, I'm not a cool truther. I didn't believe the reason that he chose number 19 was to bridge the gap. That's PRBS. We know that. But I'm just saying, in terms of when he was a player at Leeds United, and that's what I base him on. Unreal player, one of the best in the world at the time. Seriously, and that's all I'll say on that, I guess. Um, Luli saying Smith gave money back. That's good on him, but not everyone is the same. Not everyone is the same, people. Not everybody is the same. Some people will give, some people won't. That's up to the individual person, I'm afraid. Um, but yeah, listen, enough with the cool stuff. It's a very emotive subject. I always think that as well. It's still an emotive subject, and we're talking almost 20 years later, people. It's mad, isn't it? But the reason why it's such an emotive subject is because he was that good. If he was a scrub, no one would care where he went. Honestly, no one would give a stuff. If it was Robert Molinar that went to Galatasaray, no one would care as much. But because he was so good and he came from our academy, essentially, that's why it hurts people just that bit more. And I understand that. I do. And yeah, agents have a big say. Yeah, exactly. Um, Richard saying, "Don't be so bitter." Q was great. He was at Leeds United, yeah, and that's all I'll ever speak of. Anything else after that, I'll leave up to everybody else. But if you to say that he wasn't good for Leeds, you're just lying to yourself, essentially. And yeah, Caspadinho, I was going to mention this one. Casadei to Leicester. That it's not done, but they are going in for him. Chelsea essentially want him to go to the Premier League, but Leicester and Enzo Maresca are looking to bring him in the champ. That's a brilliant signing. That is somebody I would take 100% all day long if we could get him to Leeds United. He's an unbelievable midfielder and will be an unbelievable midfielder in the future. So if you could get him on loan, that's a big leg up. That would be one signing that Leicester would make, and I'll go, oh, that's a game changer because he's that good. He's going to be that good. So yeah, let's see what happens there. I wish we could hijack it, but I got a feeling that maybe Maresca may have had a word already, and we'll possibly get him. Yeah, Ryan, Gary Kelly, love that guy. Absolutely love him. And he's one of those people, Ryan, that you didn't have to think about, is he going to play next week or, oh God, he's not very good. Let's get him out. Just stick him in at right back. He was automatic, wasn't he? Brilliant. Just a brilliant servant for the club. Absolutely brilliant. Lou here. Big question though. Who had a better left foot, Cure or Ian Hart? Oh man. Wow. Oh gosh. No, it's got to be Cure, man. Has to be. Oh, but Ian Hart's free kick. Oh man. I don't know, man. It's a tie. I love them both. I love them both. Nicholas just saying, any truth that Adams linked to Chelsea? I don't know. I'm going to wait for more credible sources to um, to tweet it out or to report on it. Just because the person that reported it also put in another 6 or 7 names in that same report. So it seemed to me that he just picked a whole bunch of names, and if Chelsea sign one, then he'll say he's correct. So we'll see on that. But Adams is obviously going to garner interest, especially for 20 million. That is something that we have to look out for. Yeah, scratch and shed Ian Hart for free kick. Yeah, 100% set pieces Ian Hart all day long. But when you're talking about moving it's got to be Cure. When you talk about manipulating the ball, taking people out, putting defenders, good defenders as well, on their backsides, yeah, Cure was the one. Absolutely. Nige D, wish we had a Viduka type of front man. Me too, man. And again, Viduka, when he got sent off when we got relegated the first time, a lot of people went sour on him. I can't go sour on Mark Viduka, who used to change games as well, just by hitting the ball at the net. It would go in. That's what you guarantee with Mark Viduka, man. I miss having number nines like that. I really do. I really do, man. Oh, you guys are gonna make me all misty eyed. I'll tell you. Um, yeah, Danny Bo, you was the best. I mean, yeah, when you're talking as an engine, defensive, offensive, playmaking, scoring goals, set pieces, he used to take some of the corners as well. So I'm saying, man, that's what, and that's where my frustration comes from. That's where it came from in the Premier League, where people were just accepting these mediocre players, and it's like I see some people's abbeys. You were definitely old enough to have been around when we had that team in 2000, and I don't know why those people now just accept what we've had. And maybe it's just because we've gone down so far, 16 years out the league. Maybe that's what people accept, but I just won't accept that, people. I just won't. The club, everything about the club, the size, the money it generates, everything else says that we should be in a better position, but we've got to work back for it again, people. And that's what it is. Listen, I can't believe this stream went on about some of the old days. I can't believe it, but that's what happens when you go live, man. That's what happens when you go live. But listen, if there's anything else, people, if there's any breaking news later, possibly be back, possibly with an upload. But yeah, that's it for the day. Please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, drop your comments below. I know I've mentioned Kuhl in this, but keep it respectful. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, people. Peace out. Oh, wait. Yep. Can't forget him, Olivier Decourt. That's my guy. Okay. Peace out.